Alright, so I don't have a good way to do a screen capture, so I'm just going to record the screen with my phone. So the basic idea behind this game, if I can control this with one hand. So you have your team here. You choose who you want to start with, and so I'm going to choose this guy here. You have a certain amount of time to go and make your move, so I'm going to go ahead and come up here and fire a laser at those guys I missed. And there we go. Try to get back away so they can't attack me on their turn. My next guy, well, he's I'm gonna wait for. So it's gonna replay what my first guy did. He's gonna go do his laser, and I'm gonna plant a sticky mine here. That's gonna stick to the wall there. So now, if an enemy tries to go by there, they'll take damage and it'll knock them back. You know, I can still move and try to do my turn here, as such. But anyway, and then so for this turn, I can also fire a grenade there, and so you basically have to just take turns. You do your move, but the options here, there's so many options you can have for different counterplay. For example, you could have that mine I planted. I could change it so maybe it stuns them, so they lose a few seconds of their turn, which is a pretty big deal because time is very valuable in this situation. Also, all the different spells will have. You design them to have different uses. For example, perhaps you could create a projectile weapon like this that can trigger one of those mines, so you don't have to walk through it and take damage or be stunned. But you lose your turn, or at least you lose mana or the cooldown of whatever you fired. So it's a kind of a trade-off. Do I take the damage and have my spell, or do I use the spell to trip the mine, and so somebody else go through and do damage? So it's just kind of this interesting counterplay going back and forth of how do you outplay the other team. And spells will also let you do multiple things. For example, you can move around, you can jump, but the laser spell here also knocks back the one who fires it. So you could use that to, for example, extend your jump if you can't quite make a gap. And you have to keep in mind, where are you going to end up after you fire this laser. So it just kind of creates this interesting dynamic of all these different abilities, where each ability ideally would have more than one feature, more than one function to it. And all these abilities can be built using this spell editor I created. So for example, that laser here. So let's just take a look here on this screen. I can pull it back over to the little bigger screen. It's a little easier to see. So you can see the caster is what initiates the spell, and when you fire it, it triggers a few things. So for example, right here it triggers a laser area. This is just basically an area in the shape of that kind of like cylindrical laser shape. It spawns one of those, and then you specify whenever something enters that area, you do damage to it. Right? Pretty straightforward. Also, when you fire the laser, it's kind of hard to see what you have. You see, the laser is also connected down here to knockback, meaning right after you spawn the laser, you knock back the caster. You can see the caster, the game object there, is connected to the knockback here. And then you also delay for 10 frames, and then you destroy the laser area, because the laser area will stick around as long as the spell says it will. So I mean, that's why you can have that sticky mine that actually sticks around, because it just spawns an area that sits and waits for something to trigger it. So I guess the point is this game will allow for lots of spell ideas, and this spell system will let the designers just quickly iterate over ideas, and we can create a very interesting counterplay game between the two teams.